Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Simon with AvaTrade. Welcome to our weekly webinar, mapping out your week ahead. And as usual, what we're trying to do here is trying to create a plan for the upcoming trading week based on what happened in the past week, based on some fundamental moments, including the economic calendar. Of course, we'll take a look at the charts for technicals. And as I like to quote the traders when they say, you plan your trade and then you trade your plan. And of course, nothing guarantees success, but definitely if you spend a little bit of time and organize your thoughts and have structure for the upcoming trading week, your trading week should be more organized and possibly even more profitable. Few things about myself. My name is Simon Friedman. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade. I've been involved with trading for over 25 years. I started as a prop trader, licensed in New York. I did it for about 11 years, and then I moved to a less stressful environment, as I like to say. And I started to mentor and educate others, and I'm very happy to have this great opportunity to be assisting our customers at AvaTrade. As usual, agenda, we'll speak about indices, stocks, commodities, Forex. We'll go through winners and losers for the past week. We'll go through some specific stocks, some specific Forex pairs, and we'll go through all major indices. Risk warning, you can find the full statement at avatrade.com website. And of course, everything we do here is purely educational. We do not suggest any trades. We do not give any trading signals here. Social media channels, please feel free to subscribe. You have Telegram, you have X, and my favorite YouTube channel, where you can find a lot of information. On YouTube, you can find tutorials, educational material, webinars. If you're stressed about missing a webinar, don't be stressed. You can find them on YouTube. The webinars are being recorded, posted on YouTube, so you can watch them anytime that's convenient to you. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, please don't forget to click likes if you like it. Feel free to share with people. And also, if you have any comments or questions, you can type them in. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and click on that bell so you'll be notified of new things coming in. So before we go into the slides that I prepared, I guess the highlight of the week that triggered the sell-off was Thursday, when we finally got some data from the government after the shutdown was stopped, I guess, and there was reopening of the government. And we had some data for September NFPs, and we had some jobs numbers, and unemployment jumped higher. So I guess all that data and a little bit of uncertainty and other things from AI and other things, we had a market triggered the sell-off. Friday, we bounced a little bit. We're going to take a look at all of those things on the chart. So here it is. Wall Street's wild week shows just how fragile confidence in the stock market has become. And you have key points here. The Dow Jones Industrial Average and S&P 500 each lost nearly 2% this week. We're talking about the past week, right? While the Nasdaq Composite tumbled over 2.7%. Investor confidence is fragile, with market rallies being driven by momentum chasing rather than solid fundamentals. This is very interesting, right? Investors rotated into defensive sectors like consumer staples and healthcare, which have risen 2.2 and 7.1% respectively this month. Now, by the way, the articles or the slides or the snapshots for the articles are taken from Barron's. Here's another one, the Fed's. The Fed's next rate move has everyone guessing. Why confusion reigns? And also, I like these key points. They started to post it recently, so we don't need to read the whole thing. Market odds for December rate cut surged over 70% after New York Fed President John Williams signaled support for lowering rates. The absence of key government data due to shutdown has left policymakers and investors without full information for year-end decision. And the last one, Federal Reserve officials are divided, with some citing 3% inflation as too high, while others prioritize weakening labor demand. All right, so we have a meeting. It's coming in December 9th and 10th. The 10th will be announced, the interest rate decision. Of course, the whole world is speaking about Bitcoin. So all those optimists, they were looking for prices surging, they're probably a little bit upset. And the title here, Bitcoin just had its worst week in months. Why crypto and stocks went in different directions today. They're talking about Friday when we had the bounce on stocks, but Bitcoin continued lower. Bitcoin closed down 2.1% Friday and is down more than 10% for the week. Other cryptocurrencies are also experienced significant declines, with Ethereum falling 3.7, Solana 4.8, XRP 3.3 over the 24 hours ending at 4 p.m. Friday. The crypto market downturn is attributed to investors' expectation that Federal Reserve will not cut interest rates and rotation out of risk assets. All right. We'll take a look at the charts as well. Now, NVIDIA stock couldn't save the market, but it could be a buy. So NVIDIA stock struggled to find its footing on Friday, day after the shares sold off the company's earnings report. The result weren't able to keep the market from falling on Thursday, but Wall Street analysts are backing the chip maker despite fears of artificial intelligence bubble. NVIDIA shares spent some of Friday in positive territory, but ultimately closed down 1% to 178.91. NVIDIA stock fell 3.2% on Thursday, the day after its earnings. Despite the sell-off, Wall Street is even more positive. This is the key point, right? Wall Street is even more positive on NVIDIA than it was before the earnings. The average target price for the stock now stands at $250 per share, according to FactSet, up from around $234 before the results announcement. The Barron's has noted NVIDIA's accelerating revenue and comments on the usable life of its chips suggested the AI spending cycle has some way to go, even as the market frets about shrinking cash flows and increasing debt loads as it at its customers. Interesting, right? So the stock's going down, but the excitement about it, it's actually growing. The average target's $250 per share on NVIDIA. All right, here's the current situation with CME FedWatch. A month ago, we had 95.5% probability of the rate cut. A week ago, 44.4. I think at some point it was around 30 as well. And now we're at 71 since Friday. All right, economic calendar. It's important to mention a few things before we go into it for people that are not familiar with it. This is public information that's very important. You can access it on our web trader or the app, or just Google it. It's available to everyone ahead of time, so you can prepare yourself, which is important. And here, what I do, I take out the high impact events only. There's so much more, and you can browse through it and filter through it, whatever it's relevant for trading. And the times here are GMT. That's what I chose for my presentation here. So we have a few things this month, this coming week. President Lagarde speaking on Monday. Tuesday, we have PPI numbers from the states and retail sales from the states, very important towards the end of the year. Wednesday, we have CPI numbers from Australia and interest rate decision from New Zealand. New Zealand dollar has been super weak lately, and according to consensus here, the expectations are another cut from Bank of New Zealand from 2.5 to 2.25. Also followed by press conference, another speech by President Lagarde. I think every week I've been saying it that she speaks a lot. So Wednesday, another speech of President Lagarde of ECB's. Thursday, retail sales from New Zealand as well. Friday, we have news from Japan, the inflation CPI numbers. Expectations are a little bit lower than the current. Retail sales from Germany, gross domestic or GDP from Switzerland, CPI numbers from Germany, and GDP from Canada. So these are the most important. There's, like I said, there's so much more. You can look through them and choose whatever it's relevant for your trading. And as traders, we should be aware of these things ahead of time so we could make decisions. Either enter the trade, stay away from the trades, watch it, whatever our strategy and the risk is. By tradition, we'll go through the winners and losers. As you could see, the volatility increased this past week. VIX were up more than 20% for the week. There's not much positive, so I included here the Forex. You have dollar Swiss up 1.9% and dollar yen up 1.17%. We'll speak about the yen separately. It looks like yen is trying to regain its strength. When we get to the charts, we'll speak about it. Bitcoin, as we said, it's almost 10% for the week. These are the futures for commodities and indices, just to be clear. Gasoline down 6.74%, cocoa down 5.5%, heating oil 3.65% down, Nikkei down almost 3.5%, crude oil down 343, palladium down 297, Nasdaq down 297, DAX down 284, platinum 267, silver down 2%, S&P's down 1.83, and Dow Jones down 1.8%. We're going to take a look when we get to the charts at all of these instruments individually. All right, so let's get to the charts. We'll start with indices. By tradition, we'll start with China and Japan. As you could see here on the daily chart, Thursday and Friday, we had a sell-off and Chinese index. We are trading below 15,000. We did try moving higher, then after making a lower high, we continue with the lower low, and we almost approach the 100-day moving average here. Japanese index, it looks like it's entering some correction areas here since peaking right here at the end of October at 52,670. We had very next day, you can see that they couldn't decide which way to go, and then we started with the sell-off on November 4th. There was a sell-off and a little correction, and it looks like we're making lower lows and lower highs. Currently, we're bouncing off the 50-day moving average, and we are below the previous resistance that became support a few days later, around 49,000. So let's see how this week plays. We have some data, CPI data from Japan, and definitely we'll be watching the Japanese yen as well. We'll get to it soon. US indices, as we said a few times, there was a sell-off on Thursday. Friday, we bounced a little bit. So here's the S&P's, a big sell-off, a huge range for the day. Let's see. The high was 67.90, the low 67, well, low 65.39. So it's about 250 points range. It's pretty big. We are trading around 100-day moving average here. Nasdaq, as we said, the Nasdaq suffered the most out of 3 US indices. We had, let me remove this line. We had a big sell-off on Thursday, as we said, after the data was revealed. And Friday, the reversal was much weaker than in S&Ps and Dow Jones. So we are trading below 100-day moving average here. Dow Jones, as you could see here, similar situation after making the highs on the 11th of November. We've been sliding lower. Thursday, a big range there as well. And Friday was a nice recovery here. German index is trading this past week, trading below 200-day moving average here. It's not a very good sign. As you could see here, we had this channel going for a while and we just fell out of that channel. This is the weekly chart closing. This is the first closing below that channel since June, right? So if things are not improving, if we have more reasons for sell-off, the German DAX could continue lower here. UK index, the FTSE, was holding strong, and this past 6 sessions we had a sell-off. Friday we almost recovered the Thursday's loss. It looks strong, still very strong here. We are above or closing above 50-day moving average here on UK FTSE. So that's as far as indices. Now let's move to stocks. I'm going to bring up the MT5 for that, and of course we'll start with NVIDIA. As we said, Friday's recovery or positive actions for the market didn't affect NVIDIA. NVIDIA closed lower, and we actually closed right on the low of this huge candle sell-off on the second. So this is the weekly chart. Thursday we gapped up and closed lower, and Friday another lower closing here. We did close below 100-day moving average here. But let's see how that fact that the analysts are actually increasing the target price, maybe we'll see some reversal this upcoming week. It depends, of course, what the whole market will be doing and what's the sentiment. So NVIDIA closing at 178.64. If you look for support, it looks like this area here. We had double bottom before making the highs. So the low here was on the 15th of October, it was 177.20, and on the 22nd was about 40 cents lower, 176.78. And we went lower on Friday, but bounced and closed about $2 higher from this support area. Let's see how that plays out. AMD, if you remember, AMD had a nice run, and recently it's been selling. We did close below 50-day moving average, and right here around this top of the gap from October 6th. The low here was 202.94. We did close on Friday 203.67, about 70 cents higher. So let's see if we holding this level, we could be reversing to the upside, continue higher, and if not, we might be, which happens a lot, we might be sliding lower, trying to close the gap here, also a possibility. Oracle, if you remember Oracle, when there was a huge deal, if I remember it correctly, $300 billion with OpenAI, and lately Oracle is not so popular. And the reason I'm bringing it up today, take a look. There was a big sell-off here from that pop in September, and we're currently testing the level around current prices 202, 203, and we did close below. This was kind of a beginning of the continuation to the upside after correction here. So similar situation, if we hold and kind of close above 203 here, we could be moving higher, but we are below 200-day moving average, and if we're sliding lower, we could be reaching this level around here, around 176, 177. also closing the gap here. So we'll be watching Oracle as well. Tesla is selling over here, right? We had the double top here, first October, then November 3rd, about a month later, and then we're sliding lower. We are approaching the 100-day moving average here on Tesla. Also, another one that sometimes we speak about, Uber. Uber has been selling after unsuccessfully trying to break the $100 mark. And on Thursday, with the sell-off of the market, we broke the 200-day moving average here. And it looks like we're finding some buyers around this level here, around 81, 82. As you could see, Friday bounce with the whole market. So let's see how Uber acts from these current levels. Let's take a look at the other majors. Netflix, of course. Apologize for this mess here. I don't know why it shows. Let me bring maybe MT5 for that. Netflix, we had beginning of the week was a split, right? And since the split, we've been going lower. Some traders were hoping that the cheaper price or lower price with the split would attract more investors, but it looks like we are sliding. It could be, of course, in this case, the simple logical thought that we might find some kind of support around the psychological $100 level. Let's see if that happens. So far, we've been sliding on Netflix over here. Apple is holding very nicely. Out of all the magnificent 7 stocks, it looks like Apple is the strongest, I think, together with Google. Google also is holding very strongly. So those two are holding very strongly. The rest of them, not so much. Amazon just almost hit 200-day moving average here. Meta continues being super weak, no bounces at all, right? We had a sell-off Friday. We held a little bit. So we building kind of a base here on Meta. Let's see what the market in general is doing and how Meta will be reacting to it. So as you could see, out of the whole group, you have Apple and Google are holding stronger. The rest of the group are selling here. Another one that we haven't spoken for a while about, it's Boeing. The reason I bring it up, we came to a very interesting level here. We've been selling since this triple top here, 223. We've been selling, breaking 200-day moving average, sliding lower, and we came to the current level, which could be support around here. Let's see if that will make any sense. And of course, the banks. You remember, I always say we have to watch the banks as the signal, the health of the market in a way. Thursday, we had the sell-off, Goldman Sachs. Friday, another negative day. JP Morgan doesn't look so great. We had a brand new high here on the 12th of November. Since then, we've been sliding lower. Thursday, lower with the market. Friday, no bounce to the upside. Bank of America actually did have a bounce on Friday, and Citigroup also. So the leaders, which is Goldman and JP Morgan, especially JP Morgan, didn't really bounce on Friday. So we'll continue watching banks for some signs of maybe further weakening, or of course, it could be the bounce back to the upside. We have Johnson & Johnson's been super strong here. If you remember, since all the tariffs on pharmaceuticals and so on, the stock has been skyrocketing, and it looks like we are at the all-time highs. Yep. So we'll continue watching Johnson & Johnson, possible continuation, and of course, at some point, we'll get to some kind of a correction here. Now, two retailers, Gap and Target. I'm going to switch to MT5 here. Target expressed some concerns about the business, and I think it's been a very tough journey for Target lately. So you could see here, we've been selling, and we sold from this double top here. The last time we visited this level was March of 2024. Since then, we've been sliding and making lows this past week. So Target, it did bounce on Friday with the market. So, but there's a big concern from the company. On the positive note, we had a nice move on the Gap Corporation. Posted, I think, good earnings here. Friday was a big move to the upside. We did test the previous recent high. Let's see if that mood continues here. There was a big percentage move to the upside. I think it was around 8%. Actually, it says right here. Gap, yeah, up 8.07%. So that's Gap. Now, two other instruments that we talk about on the drastic moves in the market, it SQQQs and UVXY. They actually had a reverse split, and I was surprised by that. I didn't know it was happening, so I was looking into these instruments. Let's start with SQQQs. If you're not familiar with it, this is the ultra short QQs ETF for the short Qs, which is the ETF for the Nasdaq. The price went in a reverse split. I think they did it to kind of decrease the speculators or the day traders or scalpers, because when the price was here $10, $12, $14, it was easier to enter. Now they increased the price to 70s. As you could see here, I think it was 1 for 5 split. So if you just disregard the split, as you could see, when the market gets volatile, percentage-wise, it's a pretty big move we had on Thursday. And of course, another one is UVXY, which is the ETF for VIX. We had also a big move percentage-wise on Thursday when the VIX hit 20%. So this ETF had a big move to the upside. The same thing here, they had a reverse split, 1 for 5. So these are the two instruments. Again, sometimes I mention it when you have a big moves in the market, increased volatility, the SQQQs move to the upside when the Nasdaq is selling, and UVXY is moving together with VIX when volatility increases. So these are the stocks and the few ETFs that we mentioned. Now let's move to commodities, and we'll go through the winners and losers. We'll start with gasoline. All the energy sector went down. Gasoline was down 6.74%. You see here on daily chart, 3 consecutive days to the downside. Sometimes traders like to see these things for possible reversals. Let's take a look if anything happens here. If we continue lower, we might be targeting these levels here from which we made the high here. So gasoline down 6.74%. Cocoa continues lower. As you could see here, the big picture. Since we peaked here in December of last year, we've been sliding lower. We're actually approaching that base from which we had this robust move to the upside. 51.55 weekly chart, which is broke through the 200 weeks moving average. The daily chart, we've been trading below the averages, and so far we've been sliding lower. But for 3 days, we've been holding this level. So let's see if anything happened here. Heating oil, another energy representative, sold after making a double top here from June. We have 3 consecutive days with the increased volume to the downside. Crude oil you could see here, we keep on making lower highs, and right on the level of 50-day moving average is hitting the ceiling and making lower highs, lower lows here. If we continue lower, we might be approaching to retest this low of 55.96 from October 20th, where we had a nice jump to the upside after that. Metals as well, we have palladium down almost 3% for the week, 2.97. But we are holding, so you could see it, this was a spike down. We came right back holding this 1377 kind of area on palladium. Platinum as well was selling 2.67% for the week. And similar situation here, as you could see, we hit the 100-day moving average. We went out of the channel, briefly came right back in. So 1500 is holding. This 1509 level is holding so far. We didn't have closing of that level since all these actions here. So should the metals turn around, some traders could see it as good opportunity for buying. That's on platinum. Silver as well. After making these strong moves recently, we had the double top here. The second attempt was the 13th of November. And as you could see, so far we are holding nicely the 50-day moving average here, right? Testing, testing, testing. So far silver looks like it's a healthy correction. We are holding nicely above the 50-day moving average here. So those are the commodities. Now moving to Forex. Of course, we start with dollar index. Dollar index is stuck. I think the whole focus is on the upcoming decisions. You could see here, we had a test of 100 on in August 1st. Then again, beginning of this month of November, and then we're trying again. We did have few tails, few spikes above, but we're coming back as a magnet to this 100 level here on dollar index. Here, what you could see, the 50-day moving average slowly running to the upside. At some point, we could see the cross, which is a golden cross, which might trigger some traders to enter the buy position or give them another reason. So we'll be watching definitely dollar. Of course, euro dollar is just the mirror image here. We did break below 200 moving average here on Thursday, and Friday continued lower. A pound, we're trying to make a high low here. All we need is a high to move higher. Let's see if that happens. Australian dollar, it's been weak, trading below 200-day moving average. New Zealand dollar has been, I think, the weakest. And we do have that decision on the interest rate this upcoming week, of course, very, very important. Dollar Swiss, similar situation here. We have double top here, trying to fight this 200-day moving average. Let's see if we manage to close above. So far, we couldn't do that. USD CAD as well is retesting the highs, especially since the oil is weak, which adds to the weakness of Canadian dollar as well. And then we come to yen. This is very important. I've been talking about it pretty much every week for a while. Take a look. Dollar yen came to this level of beginning of the year, and we bounced right back. If you could see on the daily chart, we erased a day and a half of advanced move on Friday. The question, we do have some inflation data from Japan this week. The question is this the beginning of correction for yen, or just a normal profit taking before continuing into the weakness? So for that, I want to bring all the other pairs against the Japanese yen. Take a look. Similar situation on pound. We hit the resistance and moved lower here. And across the board, all the currencies showing a possible reversal here for yen. Take a look. Canadian dollar. We had the reversal here on Thursday and Friday. Big sell-off here. Swiss franc especially was the strongest against the yen. As you could see here on the daily chart, we erased pretty much the whole week of move to the upside, and we closed at the lows. So definitely we could be watching the Swiss franc against the yen. I just want to draw this trend line here connecting the lows. Let's see if we manage to hit that trend line and see how it plays out. And Euro yen as well. 2 consecutive days were erased by 1 day on Friday. And New Zealand, as we said, is weak. We had big tails here and moving lower. So we definitely should be paying attention to yen for possible regaining of the strength. And we have data from Japan coming in, and let's see how things play out. So that's as far as the effects. And let's take a quick look, as we said for dessert, at cryptos. Bitcoin is really sliding lower here. Let's see it since 106. We've been holding this, then established a strong resistance. Since then, we've been sliding lower from 106,000. Currently trading 20,000 lower. We are at 86, and then Friday we hit the low of 80,495, 80 and a half on Bitcoin. XRP went below $2, the key number, and then we are bouncing today, trading currently at 204. So that's as far as crypto. What can we say about crypto? A lot of traders are trading on leverage. So when the price is falling, let's say for Bitcoin, some of the traders are actually forced to close their position to keep their margin. And I think that also creates a downside pressure to Bitcoin here, because the expectation was super high, as you could see here. The moment we broke to 100,000, 106, 110, 111, we had a peak here on October 6th at the 126 to 31, and since then we've been sliding lower. All right, I think that's it. We're finished for today with the market reviews, and I just want to remind everyone about the social media. Please feel free to subscribe, click likes, follow us. Very important. And just to summarize, the whole focus, the market is for the upcoming Fed's decision. Of course, NVIDIA as well. As we said on NVIDIA, the analysts are excited. They're raising the price to $250. In general, a lot of uncertainty on the markets, the AI. So you could see the health sectors and other defense sectors are doing better, and Nasdaq's been selling as technology is becoming a little bit uncertain there in a way. So let's see, we have some events this upcoming week. Definitely, we should have a lot of actions. Also very important to mention, the upcoming week, the schedule is different. There's a Thanksgiving Day in the US. So it's going to be a short session. Just watch the schedule. You can find it on the trading info and holiday schedule on our website. So you know how to operate with your positions. Don't get stuck with positions you don't want to be stuck with, and don't enter things that you don't want to be entering into the short sessions and so on. I want to wish everyone a good weekend. We still have time to rest and enjoy ourselves and prepare yourself for the upcoming week. And of course, I want to wish everyone a successful and profitable trading week. All the best. Take care.